Hello and welcome to the BMC Quick Course series. APPTUNE is an application performance and resource analysis product that is used to gather and display data from a single SQL statement or a set of SQL statements. The gathered data provides valuable information about performance and resource use of DB2 applications. This quick course will provide information on how to view online reports on this SQL performance data by way of the plan program perspective. Beginning at the APPTUNE and Index component main menu, we notice at the top of the panel that we have connected to an active data collector and that the data collection is ready and working. From this main menu, we want to navigate to the Sql Workload menu, so we use Option 1 and hit Enter. We are now viewing the Sql Workload Analysis menu, where we have several options in effect, shown in the white on the top half of the panel. These options may be changed using the options at the bottom half of the panel, and we will explore these options. Let's start with Option 2, Initial Report. We are now viewing the SQL Workload Initial Analysis Level panel, where we have the option of selecting a starting point for our analysis. This report provides several optional starting points, and the default is the DB2 Subsystem ID report, and we will select that option and then return to the previous menu by hitting the F3 key. Upon returning to the SQL Workload Analysis menu, we will now select Option 5 to view and specify the time frame for our reporting. We are now viewing the Select Analysis interval, where we can specify the time frame for our SQL reporting. Each interval has a begin date and time and an end date and time with a time duration, providing valuable information on the length of the interval. Intervals are cut on a specific time value set by the product administrator and can be as short as an hour or as long as 24 hours. However, intervals are also cut at other times, such as when the data collector is cycled, or a command can be issued to cut an interval and start a new one. Each interval is cut for each DB2 subsystem that is defined to the data collector. Other data fields of interest are the number of entries for each interval and whether filters and/or sampling of data was in effect during the interval. From this panel, you can select a single interval of interest or a range of intervals as we have selected here, and then return to the SQL Workload Analysis menu by hitting the F3 key. Now that we have selected the starting point for our reporting and the data interval of interest, we next want to look at the data source options that are available for this reporting. So we select Option 6 from the SQL Workload Analysis menu. We are now in the Data Source Options selection panel, where we can see that we have three different data source options. We can use the current data collector as we have done in our example by selecting Data Source Option S, and we could have also indicated that we want all DB2s defined to this data collector. We could have indicated to only use certain DB2s by specifying the DB2 subsystem names in the DB2 SSID list, or as we can specify asterisk for all. The other data source option is to specify an active or an archive trace data set. When we are finished with our data source selection, we can return to the SQL Workload Analysis menu by hitting the F3 key. After finishing our report option selections, we are now ready to begin our reporting by selecting Option 1 from the SQL Workload Analysis menu. Our first report is the subsystem analysis that shows a high-level picture of the activity by DB2 subsystem. This report is sorted by total in SQL time in descending order to show the subsystem with the highest total in SQL time. There are several actions available, by using the associated character with the plus sign. And in our example, we will be going to a report by plan by placing a P on the line of interest. We are now viewing the plan analysis report, which is ordered in descending order by total NSQL time. We see data related to the plan that has experienced the largest total NSQL time percentages and additional detail concerning get page and IO information. There are several actions available by using the associated character at the plus sign, and in our example, we will be going to a report by program by placing an R on the line of interest. We are now viewing the program analysis report, which also is ordered by total NSQL time. The information on this report is similar to the information presented on the plan analysis report, and once again, we will take an action to view the SQL statements by placing the S at the plus sign on the line of the report of interest. We are now viewing the SQL statement analysis report, and the SQL statements in the report are ordered again by total NSQL time. Information associated with each SQL statement, in addition to total NSQL time, statement type, and call type, may be viewed by using the PF11 and PF10 keys to scroll sideways. In our example, we have selected the first statement in the list and entered the S action to view the SQL text for this statement. We now view the SQL statement text report that shows some metrics of the execution of the SQL. We have in this report two sets of action options. One set of action options for the plus sign and one set of action options for the asterisk sign. And by using these additional actions options, we can drill down into the metrics and obtain more detail concerning the execution of this SQL statement, or we can link to the BMC Common Explain and continue our analysis using that function. In summary, APPTUNE provides an easy navigation from a high-level reporting at the DB2 subsystem down to an extensive detailed analysis of a particular SQL statement of interest. Thank you for your time.